everyone, my name is Quang. My English name is Tommy. I'm 8 years old. Today I will talk about lesson history in lesson 20 grade 3, and I will sing the continent song. Asia, Europe, Africa, then down to Antarctica, North and South America, last of all Australia, Pacific Oceans, Atlantic Oceans, Indian Oceans, Arctic and Southern too. And I will review to say about the Northeast region. Here, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts are the states in the Northeast region.
What about Washington, D.C.?
And it is the capital, and it is just a city. And today we talk about a new person. His name is David Berner. But before we read about him, we will have some questions.
What do we call something that needs to be paid back? You're just smiling at me when you know the answer. Something that has to be paid back, Brennan.
And it is called the debt.
Good. What was the religious group who settled in Pennsylvania called, Amory?
And the group that settled in Pennsylvania is called the Quakers.
The man who began the colony of Pennsylvania was called what, Ashby?
His name was William Penn.
Who was the king of England that gave Penn this land in America, Royan?
It was King Charles II.
What name did the Quakers have for one another? Students watching?
They called each other friends.
Terrible sickness spread through London, taking the lives of many people, Mikkel.
It was the bubonic plague.
Who was the only group of people willing to help these sick people, Scarlett?
The only group of people that were willing to help the sick people is the Quakers.
First question. What is the city of brotherly love? Roy.
It is Philadelphia.
How did King Charles II repay his debt to the Penn family, Grayson?
By giving them land in America or Pennsylvania.
For your row. Who planned the city of Philadelphia? Isaiah?
And William Penn planned the city of Philadelphia.
Penn hoped that everyone could find religious freedom where? Students watching?
Penn hoped that everyone could have religious freedom in Pennsylvania.
Who was the king in debt to? Was it William or William's father? Mikkel?
And the king pays the debt to William.
What happened to the Quakers as they helped the sick people of London, Monroe?
They were arrested when they helped the people of London.
What do the Quakers call each other? Students watching?
They call each other friends.
What king of England gave Penn land in America? Adrian.
King Charles II gave Penn land in America.
What is something that needs to be paid back? Ivy?
It is a debit.
Religious group who settled in Pennsylvania. What was their names? Brennan?
Their name was the Quakers.
Who was the man that began the colony of Pennsylvania?
It was William Penn.
How did King Charles II repay the debt? Students watching.
By giving them land.
Why did King Charles II like Penn's idea of repaying him with land? Ivy?
Because he could get rid of the Quakers all at once, and he did not have to pay back the money.
What did the king call this new colony? Its name was, Mikkel?
Its name was Pennsylvania.
What is the city of brotherly love? Students watching?
It was Philadelphia.
Penn hoped that everyone could have religious freedom where?
In Pennsylvania.
What colony?
What colony? And it is the Pennsylvania colony. And today we're going to read about David Brainerd early life. And here is a timeline. And the first in 1492, Columbus discovers the New World. And then in 1607, the settlement of Jamestown was built. And in 1620, and is when the Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock. And the Declaration of the Independence is for independence was in the year of 1776, and the War for Independence it starts in the year of 1775 to 1783, and in the year of 1789, George Washington was elected to be the first president. Here, and David Brainerd lived in the year of 1718 to 1745. And here, I will read in the book. David Brainerd, early life. David Brainerd was born in Haddam, Connecticut in 1718. He lived in America in a time where settlements were often far apart and Native Americans were all around. David grew up in a Puritan community. In David's family, the three most important things in life were work, worship, and caring for others. David's father taught him that work was a privilege. David gladly did his chores on the farm. He enjoyed gathering vegetables, picking berries, and fishing for food for his family's dinner. He was glad he could carry wood, fetch water, and weed the garden. He loved sitting by the fire. in the evening. As he read from his Bible or his family's copy of Pilgrim's Progress, he was taught to show respect to every person, to be thankful for everything. He looked for ways that he could help others. Sundays were special days which David's family spent in worship and prayer and in attending church services. From the time he was a little boy, hard things happened to David. His father and later his mother died before he was grown. David spent the last 10 years of his life dealing with terrible disease that caused him much pain. As an adult, he had many lonely days and nights without a friend to talk to, but he found great joy in loving and serving God. Important words: interpreter, one who translates from one language to another. Important names: David Brainerd, a colonial missionary to Native Americans. Mohichan Indians, a Native American tribe in the area of New York. Moses Tunda Tatami, David Brainerd's interpreter. Delaware Indians, a Native American tribe in the area of Pennsylvania. It took David many years to understand about God's love for him. At first, David thought he had to work for God's love. After his mother died, David wondered what happened to a person after death. I must be good, he thought. If I'm good enough, I will go to heaven. How hard it was to always do the right thing. He could never be perfect. Would he ever get to heaven? David began to spend even more time reading and studying the Bible and talking to God. Finally, when David was 21 years old, he understood that Jesus is the only way to heaven. Going to heaven did not depend on what David could do, but on what Jesus had already done. What peace came to David's heart when he finally believed. David Brainerd wanted to share the Bible with others and decided to be a preacher. He thought of many people who needed Christ as Savior. Now, David Brainerd was no longer working to get to heaven, but now working to tell others how they could go. One day in his journal, he wrote, I thought, no matter when or where, nor how Christ should send me, what trails he should still exercise me with, if I might but be prepared for his work and will. It did not matter where God sent him or how hard it might be. David Brainerd was willing to do anything God called him to do. What he wrote that day would be described as his future life as a missionary. And in our next lesson, we will learn more about David Brainerd and how he helped the Delaware Indians, Mochican Indians, and then the Delaware Indians. But it was all the reading. For today, and I And in the next lesson, we will continue to learn about David Brainerd and his life as a missionary to teach about God. In the important names, he was described as a colonial missionary to the Native Americans. But that is all what I want to talk about in today's history lesson. Thank you for your listening, watching. Goodbye.